First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for hiding what I got left by my grandma from my stepsister? My parents are divorced. I, 16 female, lost my grandma from COVID in April. She left me her really cute and also delicate jewelry, and all the jewelry she had gathered over the years, including some nice necklaces, bracelets, and rings. Her engagement ring was there too, but my dad kept that safe for me anyway because I think he was a little worried my mom would try to claim it. Anyway, when the stuff first made it into the house, my stepsister, 14 female, took an interest in everything I had and wanted to look and touch and for me to share. I told her no. She was upset and said we need to share things, and I told her not when it was sentimentally valuable and something my grandma left me. She told me we're sisters, so I should share, and I told her no because she has nothing to do with my dad's side of the family. It got more heated. My stepdad wanted me to share. My mom told me to let her use one thing occasionally. Eventually, I had enough of trying to protect it, especially after I caught her searching my room for it, and I made the decision to leave it at my dad's, and then I decided to leave there more than here. So, I only see my mom every other weekend, and my mom still thinks I should have left it there for sharing. I explained my decision to her, and she told me that it's unfair for me not to share when I would be a bio sister. I told her I would if my grandma was their grandma, but she has nothing to do with my grandma, and never did. She told me that's not fair when she's as much my sister as a bio would be. I said, no, she's not. Not when it comes to my dad and my paternal family, because she will never be part of their lives or get anything from them, and she's not entitled to it. I said she has her dad's family if she wants that kind of relationship. My stepsister has been calling me a witch ever since I took the box away. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You handled the situation very well, and I'm appalled that the adults in the house couldn't respect your decision. Exactly. Not the a-hole. Your mother or steps do not get to decide what you do with your inheritance. God forbid she lost one of the pieces, they wouldn't take the blame and twist it on OP. Not the a-hole. Not even close on this one. Who demands someone else's sentimental inheritance? Your mom is the biggest a-hole because she should be the adult voice of reason. Plus, it's not her late mother's jewelry, so why is she involved? Your dad keeping the engagement ring safe is very telling of your mom's behavior. Glad you have your dad's place to get away to, and some things to remember your grandma. That's probably exactly why she's involved. It's her former mother-in-law's jewelry, so she doesn't feel the need to respect sentimentality, because for her there isn't any. As far as she's concerned, she just wants to go with the action that will lead to a quick resolution, and quiet things down in her home, which is to force Sophie to share. She'd probably be more understanding if it was her own late mother's jewelry. Not a haul. The stuff is the final gift from your grandma. The value it holds because of that is incalculable. Blended families are tricky. I get them wanting equality and fairness, but that should apply to how they treat you, etc. It has no bearing on your inheritance. The lack of respect for your boundaries isn't pleasant. Is your stepsister normally indulged? Used to having her own way? There has been a lot of, we're family now, we share and we don't let the step define things. And she has liked it and embraced it, and they let her use it to get her own way more. Yeah. That's wrong. Share a console, take turns to pick a movie, have equal allowance, equal chores. But taking from one to give to the other isn't being balanced or giving equal treatment. That's preferential, and literally the opposite of what they're saying. They basically view it as it's wrong for me to say what I do because we're family, which makes her my grandma's family, but she never was. They never met, and they never had anything to do with each other. She's not married into my dad's family or related by blood, so that's it. They did that stuff when we were a little younger too. She got this trampoline for her birthday, and my mom kept pushing me to use it because I had wanted one when I was younger. But it was a one-person trampoline, so it meant if I used it, she couldn't. And it was just so weird. Now let's read the next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to invite my brother to my wedding? About 5 years ago I was engaged, and my then fiancé ran off with my best friend and roommate. This led to all sorts of bad things happening. A few months later, my brother got married to his longtime fiancé, and I found my ex was the maid of honor at his wedding, and he made a guy she ran off with his best man. Ever since then, I have refused to have anything to do with my brother. Recently, my brother and his wife had a baby, and due to some postpartum issues, my mother has been caring for the child. So recently, my fiancé went dress shopping and invited her mom, my mom, at her wedding party. Apparently, during the drive, my mother started talking about how I should just forget what happened, forgive my brother and move on. When I was told this, I lost it. I told my mother I would never invite my brother, and that he has no place in my life. He's not a brother to me. She also thinks that because my other brother in Germany is coming, that my younger brother deserves to see him. I said that's up to him, but not at my wedding. My fiancé says I should bury the hatchet, because it's not fair that my nephew will never know me. I said if the child reaches out to me later in life, I am fine with that, but I stood my ground about not letting my brother attend a wedding, or be part of my life. This has been going on for months, and it seems like everyone is leaning to his side. Am I really the a-hole here? Edit. For everyone asking if he's ever apologized, he hasn't. One year he did have my mother give me a Christmas present. It was a doormat with my name on it. I thought it was insulting. My mother said it was him trying to extend an olive branch. Edit 2. For those asking about my relationship prior, my brother and I had a healthy relationship prior to this. The general thought process is that his wife didn't have a lot of friends here, so my ex was one of her only local friends. She would be the maid of honor. Douchebag was now her boyfriend, so my ex wanted to walk the aisle with him, so made him the best man. Obviously, this was never going to sit well with me, so the easy thing to do was not to invite me. I'm guessing they thought I would just let it go as I'm usually a mild person. Now for the top comments. Not a-hole. He gave you a doormat as an olive branch? A doormat? A very telling gift. The fact that it literally had my name on it didn't help. He's literally mocking you and calling you a doormat. Your parents are enabling him and using his child as something above you. Leverage. Take note. 1 year, he did have my mother give me a Christmas present. It was a doormat with my name on it. I thought it was insulting. My mother said it was him trying to extend an olive branch, then gift him some toilet paper with his name on it for Christmas. After all, it's the thought that count. This actually made me laugh. Thanks for that. Not a-hole. Excuse me? He made that guy his best man? And called you a doormat? Did I miss something? Why on earth would you ever want to see him? I don't, but my mother seems to think I should get over it. And my fiancé, while she understands why I'm mad at my brother, feels I should bury the hatchet for his child's sake. No offense, OP, but you and I both know their child will survive just fine. I mean, yeah, probably. One small fact that I did leave out because I didn't think it was usually related was, my brother and his wife had a baby before. The baby died at 2 months old due to sudden infant death syndrome. That's probably why my mother is caring for the new baby. I think my fiancé wants to have the opportunity for us to care for the child if the need arises. I don't know that for a fact, but I kinda assume, and I feel like that is part of why she wants me to mend things. Side note, my fiancé has never met my brother or his wife, but my mother has brought a baby around. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for erasing my brother? My older sister, Laura 30, younger brother, Elon 26, and I 27, were always really close. Our childhood was difficult. We each portray our scars in different ways. Laura learned that hope brings nothing but pain, cynical but loyal. I'm socially anxious with an intense fear of getting in trouble. And Elon was a problem child with anger issues. Elon has a learning disability, and it affected his ability to progress through school. He scraped by elementary, barely attended middle school, and dropped out of high school nearly the second he got there. Although Elon and I are only a year apart by birth, we were 3 grades apart by the time I graduated elementary school. My mother wouldn't allow us to be in the same school once I entered the 9th grade. My school went from 6th grade to 12th. School, due to how his outbursts was handled. His teachers never could handle him, but never wanted to admit it. So instead of calling, heaven forbid, his parents, they'd call me or my sister. The issue started when he began stealing. Everything. iPads, phones, money, anything he could get his hands on. I'd been saving my barista tips and walked in on him stealing them, after I said I didn't have any money to give him. He just shrugged and said, I wanted it, and you knew I'd take it. He was not on these. He felt like he could have whatever he wanted. He's charismatic and people generally like him. He knows it. Ultimately, though, he was kicked out of the house. My mother has a soft spot for him and would invite him over whenever possible. As such, he came by for Christmas a few years back. Great. After he left, the family went to visit family. Upon returning, we found the presents gone. Alan later admitted to taking them because he wanted a PlayStation. That was it for me. My dad tried to talk to me into forgiving him, but no. The next year, my brother broke into my father's, parents are divorced, house. My father has since stopped trying to have a relationship with Alan, but thinks I should try. Alan hasn't done anything terrible in the last 3 years, but the family has also taken measures to ensure that he can't. We don't post on when we are going on vacation. We don't invite him to family reunions. If he is in the house, we don't leave him in a room alone. I've cut Alan out of my life. I don't speak to him. I don't acknowledge him. I don't even say his name. As far as I'm concerned, he no longer exists. However, some of my family has been putting pressure on me to forgive him and mend a relationship. They say he's trying to change. He's got a steady job, he's trying to get his GED, and is finally dating a girl his age. He usually dates just made legal girls because women his age notice that he can't read. My family and sometimes friends say that it's unfair for me not to give him a chance. I told them that I hope he's doing well and lives a successful life, but I don't want him in mine. It's a touchy subject and always leaves my parents irritated with me. Am I the a-hole for erasing my brother? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You didn't burn down the bridges on him, did you? He burned them down himself. That's the problem I'm having. No one thinks he burned bridges. He certainly doesn't think so. Everyone thinks he went off the deep end, and I burned the bridge while he drowned. Not the a-hole. You gave him a lifetime of chances. He used them to steal from you, and then blame you for it. He wiped out the entire family's Christmas in order to get himself a PlayStation. You reached your limit, and you are allowed to say when enough is enough. Clarification. I had to cut out a few explanations because of a character limit. Alan didn't steal the presents to sell them for a PlayStation. We'd bought a PlayStation for our youngest brother, 70-ish at the time, and Alan wanted it. He just took all the other presents as well. It's why I was so upset. He stole from his baby brother, a kid who loved him unconditionally. Not a a-hole. Has this kid had any therapy? He's a checklist of failed systems and parents who couldn't cope with fighting the system. Don't blame them. It's a broken, failing system. Hope you all get what you need. Therapy isn't really something we do in my family. God knows we need it. But no, none of us ever had it. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for flaunting my marriage to my sister? So, my husband and I have been married for about 2 years, and my sister has been married for 7. She has 2 toddlers, so wouldn't be doing anything for New Year's Eve, and we're neighbors, so my husband and I went over to her place to just hang out before we headed out for a night. The 4 of us were sitting and talking, and we went on a trip down memory lane of all the stupid things we did as kids, and I told a funny story of something our brother did which was very stupid, but also hilarious. But he was a teenager and is now just a funny story. He is an aerospace engineer now. When both of our husbands weren't in the room, she turned to me all mad and said, "You shouldn't say stuff like that about our family in front of the husbands. They'll judge them and think they're stupid." I was quite shocked, so I said, I never really had to worry about that with my husband because we love each other's family like our own, and he would never judge, which is 100% true. Both our families have some colorful characters, but we've never cared nor judged that. Well, this pissed her off more, and she went off on me saying I'm flaunting that my marriage and husband is better than hers. We left soon after. My husband said I should have just smiled and agreed to keep the peace. But I wasn't being nefarious in telling her that I genuinely have never worried about what information about my family I tell my husband. So, am I the a-hole for telling my sister my husband doesn't judge our family and loves them as his own? Edit. To everyone saying I should reach out to my sister to see if she's okay. Since she's been this way for the past 2 years, I have regularly tried and even got my mom to try to get her to talk about what's going on. But she's always been a very, very private person and a perfectionist, so we haven't been able to get her to open up. The last time I tried, I told her that they should get family therapy. I don't know if they went or not, but she's certainly not the kind of person who would tell me if she did. Not the a-hole. Your sister is projecting her relationship insecurities onto you, and you shouldn't have to take it just because you have a healthy living relationship with your husband. Sister was drunk, I bet, exaggerating her insecurities. Just because she's insecure in her marriage does not mean you're flaunting yours. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Her insecurities about her husband aren't your fault. You made your comments in complete good faith, so you're not the a-hole here at all. Not the a-hole. Is this a new personality trait of your sister? I'm just asking because some women do 180s and turn into insufferable monsters when they have kids. Your sister is being ridiculous, paranoid, and hyper-defensive. She's been a bit snippy about some things since I got married. If I share a happy story or something cute my husband did that made me happy, which she used to do regularly with me for the 7 years she's been married, she'd make a negative/sarcastic comment or mean joke about it. So I just stopped sharing such stories with her. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you with the next one. Stay safe.